Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. As always, thank you so much for watching me and for subscribing to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that we need to be aware of, that we might want to start preparing for, maybe do some additional research to really understand what's going on. I'm talking about the rollout of the CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. It is happening and there's very little doubt that it will change the world as we know it, that it will change our world as we know it. The rollout of CBDC across the world is gaining more and more steam as we speak. Let's take a quick look at several headlines so that we can get a better idea of how global of a process this has become. Turkey's central bank completes first CBDC test with more to come in 2023. Kazakhstan's central bank recommends a phased CBDC rollout between 2023 and 2025. Brazil could cement its status as an economic leader thanks to 2024 CBDC move. Spain's central bank to experiment with wholesale CBDC. But here's the one that is truly shocking, and hopefully exactly this one, will make us think twice. Nigeria bans ATM cash withdrawals over $225 a week to force use of CBDC. Nigeria was one of the first to introduce CBDC, by the way. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think about that. So I wanted to include these headlines here in this video so that we can visualize what's going on around us. This is a truly global process. In addition to that, these headlines give us an idea about what we might start seeing and experiencing in the near future. So CBDC was introduced by China. It may very well be that crown jewel, if you will, of the Great Reset at this point. It was one of the main topics of the most recent World Economic Forum meeting, where the author of the Great Reset, its creator, who happens to be the founder of the World Economic Forum himself, laid out a very specific vision of how it will unfold. If you're not familiar with the Great Reset, I do encourage you to do some research on your own to really understand the ideas behind it. There is a book that's available on Amazon. For those who might not be as familiar with the Great Reset, the idea was launched by the founder of the World Economic Forum as a way to move forward towards a greener and fairer world. And we're talking about the planet as a whole. This is a global process. It's population, we're talking about the behavior of the population and everything in between. A tweet, which is now deleted by the World Economic Forum, speaks for itself. CBDCs are traditional money, but in digital form. They are issued and governed by a country's central bank. Under CBDC, we won't need cash any longer. CBDC is inherently designed to encourage consumers to behave in a manner that benefits the environment, that benefits the economy, and the common interest. And I will just leave it at that, but do let me know if you see parallels between this idea and a very famous book, a very famous novel. CBDC by its nature is a programmable tool. By the way, if it seems that this is all a distant, futuristic idea that is years and years away and that it won't impact us, its implementation is actually set to complete in 2030. This idea is being implemented by many countries across the globe. There are many leaders that are actually on board and are in the process of implementing it. CBDC did go sort of unnoticed for a while. These past couple of years, we've been so focused on daily, weekly news that we may not have really caught on to the bigger picture. So what are the top facts about CBDC here in the US and across the world that you may want to know about? The first one is an obvious one: absolute lack of privacy. Privacy as it relates to your purchases, privacy as it relates to your location even, the balance in your bank account, as well as what you should plan to spend it on. When it comes to CBDC, and remember earlier we talked about it being a fully programmable tool. So when it comes to CBDC, the issuing entity has a, let's call it, bottomless limit of control that it can use over CBDC users, meaning the funds going in and out of their accounts. A user himself or herself has no real control over it because a CBDC is an intangible digital digital item that's fully controlled by a third party, the party that issues it. In the case with CBDCs, money is purely electronic and provided directly by the party that issues it to a user. So to give you a bit more perspective on what that means in reality, here's what a Cornell professor of economics and trade policy, Dr. Eswar Prasad, said about CBDCs. One should recognize that the CBDC creates new opportunity for monetary policy. If we all had CBDC accounts instead of cash, in principle, it might be possible to implement negative interest rates simply by shrinking balances in CBDC accounts. It will become a lot easier to undertake helicopter drops of money. If everybody had a CBDC account, you could easily increase the balance in those accounts. In other words, the monetary policy you've been hearing about would be happening in your bank account. Now, this has to do directly with retail CBDCs. There is a video here on my channel that explains the difference between the two types of CBDC. Another interesting fact about CBDCs is that with a CBDC, the issuing entity would become both money printer and bank, which in essence goes against the traditional idea, the traditional concept of checks and balances to the government's power. By granting the government ownership over the root technology of money, CBDCs essentially allow the government complete discretion over how and whether people can use their money. On the surface, it might appear that CBDC and cryptocurrency, for example, let's take Bitcoin, have a lot in common. But in reality, even though both are built using blockchain technology, CBDC actually undermines all crypto principles, such as decentralization, that also refers to it not having a single owner, as well as fair amount of privacy, which CBDC won't offer at all. CBDC as a system inherently implies centralizing Americans' financial information and holdings in a digital database that is live and that reflects complete and accurate data at any given point in time. The issuer of the CBDCs would be able to pretty much do monetary tightening and easing with the digital dollar the same way it is done to regular currency. It can be devalued if necessary, or on the contrary, it can increase in value. The only difference is that fiat currency is devalued over time via inflation and other forces, while CBDC can drop in value as a result of an intervention. Alright, I'll end this video here. I plan on making several videos on CBDC. Comment below and let me know whether you see benefits in converting to CBDC as a user, of course, and what your main concerns are at this point. Thank you for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and do me a favor, share it with your friends and family, those who might be interested to learn more about central bank digital currency and how it works. So thank you so much for supporting me here on YouTube, and I will see you in my next one soon. Take care.